This is Pod to the Futures with Mitch Moss and Jonathan Von Tobel on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
All right, episode 4, Pod to the Futures. Jonathan Von Tobel, Mitchell Moss alongside. Last week, if you want to go and check it out, a great intro to the NHL season with Jonathan Davis, VSiN NHL analyst. Make sure you check that out, as today is the day the puck drops on the NHL regular season. Very much looking forward to that. Also, big day because the NBA betting guide is out today. So a big shout out to Zach Cohen who put that thing together. If you're listening right now, go check it out. Go to VSiN.com/subscribe. We got a lot of different specials out there for you. My bosses might not like saying this, Mitch, but I think it is very apt. If you're paying full price for a VSiN Pro sub, I don't know what we're doing, man. You got all sorts of specials going on the website that you can take advantage of. So go to VSiN.com. Check it out. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. So I was browsing the guide earlier today, the NBA betting guide. You did a great job in it as well, as always. On this podcast, I am going to extract one or two of your favorite bets that you want to give the listeners today.
Oh, yeah. I'm geeked out. I'm ready to go. I was telling Zach the other day, man, I need like a good Wizards, Kings, regular season Wednesday night game. You know what I mean? Like, I need something like that in my life again.
I don't know how we do this as a society. Honestly, yeah. Right? It takes me 4 days to get over what just happened in the NFL and college football every week.
Yep. And
then, hey guys, NHL starts tonight. Oh, and then by the way, 2 weeks NBA. And then right after that, here's 163 games in college basketball.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry. So to your point, so first off, I was our assignments were handed out for the college basketball guide, so that is out now. So we're working on that now, I should say. So that'll be out soon. Because I am a good co-host, and I know that my co-host, Stormy Bonatoni, has now been added. I think she's got 13 games this regular season, or between the whole entire season in the NHL, whatever it is. I have committed myself to watching more hockey this regular season. I've already been trying to watch more soccer as well. So,
yeah, me too.
Dude, like there's so much happening. I don't even know. Children? What children? I don't got time for that.
Oh, forget about that. So, by the way, this is like... one tip I think that you can use moving forward too, right? And this is why it's important to expand your network and rely on others, because we don't have the brain space to handle all of this as a single human being, right? You can't be up completely on the NHL and the NBA and then college basketball and soccer at the same time, the NFL and college. It's just impossible. Mm-hmm. So you need to expand your network. And I do think, JBT, that there is a conversation to be had about if you just paid attention to the NHL and not the NBA, or vice versa, just did one of those sports, right? You're probably going to have better success.
Oh, yeah.
Than picking your spots and saying, hey, let me get involved now. No, that's not the way to do it. I think you need to, like, if you picked let's say you and I were teaming up this year. You're already hardcore into the NBA. I could take the approach of, well, I'm just going to do nothing but the NHL. And then so you and I could have a daily conversation about, hey, look at this tonight in the NBA. And I'd be like, okay, this is what I have my eyes on in the NHL.
Yep. I think, not to do the inner machinations of media and shows, but I think that's why Stormy and I have a pretty good balance because we pay attention, cover the bases for each other. But we'll have more on the NBA coming up a little bit later. You mentioned the futures. I've got about 6 or 7 that I can throw at you, and you can see if you want any part of any of those. But we got to start in the National Football League, I think, because look, this is what we're going to do. Coming out of every single week, there's updates, there's everything, and
yeah.
I wanted to start in an award that I don't really dive into too much, Mitch, because I think it's just, hey, there's like 4 guys that can win this every single year. But I think we're starting to see the door get kicked down for most valuable player. I don't know how you felt, but buried in the chaos of Titans Cardinals, what I kept saying yesterday to Stormy, was an incredible football game between the Seahawks and the Buccaneers. And I think I said yesterday, I meant Sunday. That was great. Watching that shootout was spectacular. And I got to tell you, Baker Mayfield deserves so much credit for what this Buccaneers team has gone through in terms of injuries and keeping them afloat. They are now 4-1. He's out there out-dueling Sam Darnold, of all people. Emeka Egbuka, in his emergence, has everything to do with his own individual talent, but it also has to do with the quarterback that has been putting him in position to succeed. Baker Mayfield, I did it after this last week. He's still 11 or 12 to 1 to win MVP. How is he not shorter given what his resume looks like at this point?
So what number did you grab him at?
12.
And that was after the game against the Seahawks?
That was after the game, yes.
Do you know what number he was before the game?
No.
Yeah, I don't think it was much more than like 20.
Yeah.
So he was already kind of low and on the radar, right? Because he was having a really good season, obviously, and they were winning a bunch of games and had some good wins to that point. I don't know what are we looking at here? Look at the guys that he is behind right now in the MVP market. Now, this is also like a projection season long. Like, is this going to continue? Is it sustainable? And they also want to avoid taking like any big liability on guys like Josh Allen and maybe even like a Patrick Mahomes. However, when you consider the storyline here, and you factor in how much the media loves Baker Mayfield now, and it's a great comeback story as well. I mean, the Browns are absolutely just killing themselves for giving up on this guy, and he's playing lights out football, and there's an angle here. Forget division winner. Like, what seed are we possibly talking about here? I know you have a bet on them to be the 1 seed, but I think everything is open here for the Buccaneers. I think absolutely he's worth a bet in the MVP. I'm still waiting for Circa and Westgate to reopen before I get down on him. I want to see where they're going to post him. Although, you know what? I did see the Westgate at 10-1. So Circa usually opens a little bit later on Tuesdays when we record the podcast. So, like, he's opened. He's right there for the MVP. Todd Bowles, Coach of the Year. Although that market we can talk about here in a minute. There are so many good candidates this year. It's going to be tough. It's like throwing a dart. And you mentioned Ibuka as well. He's odds-on favorite now at some spots to win the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, -110 for Ibuka, because we'll talk about Offensive Rookie of the Year here coming up in a couple of minutes, because that was an interesting weekend for some of these rookies, including Ibuka, who, again, looks absolutely incredible for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, I think you can make the strong argument, because you mentioned the guys that are in front of Baker Mayfield at this point right now to win the award. I put it in our notes. I think shouldn't he be the favorite? Who's got a better resume given the injuries that this team has gone through? 10 touchdowns to 1 interception, a 4-1 record. The fact that he is right now, by PFF standards, tied for third in terms of PFF passing grade, 7.5 yards per attempt. I mean, the guy's been brilliant. And the thing, to your point, like this actually, I feel pretty good about this Buccaneers 1 seed. They were supposed to slip here. Given all of the injuries, given everything that's going on, this was the part of the season where they were supposed to slip and not be good and get off to a slow start. And then everything was, well, and then as the year goes along and they get healthy and everybody comes back, then everything's going to be fine. They've navigated this brilliantly, and it's really because of him. So
well
I think that this should be one where you absolutely hit it on the head. I think a lot of this has to do with liability. I think if you were to twist a bookmaker's nipples and say, hey, tell me the truth, what do you think this should be in terms of true odds, it's probably Baker Mayfield a lot tighter and closer to favorite than it is as it currently stands.
That's a good benchmark that we should do, like on a weekly basis. Bring on a bookmaker. Okay, it's nipple twisting time.
Purple nipple props. There we go.
Everything you said makes a lot of sense, right? He should be the favorite right now, and wait until they're playing easier competition because they have that based on who they play inside their own division, right? Let me give you a couple of other guys as well. Again, we're going to avoid the guys near the top, like a Josh Allen. We're not getting down on him. I'm not going to bet Patrick Mahomes. How about Dak Prescott if the Cowboys somehow sneak into the playoffs? Playing absolutely phenomenal football. 71.3% completion percentage right now is third or fourth in the NFL. He's got 1,290 yards, a ton of touchdowns, and he's doing this, by the way, without some of his best players, and including, one of the best receivers in the entire game.
Yes. So glad you brought it up, because this actually dovetails nicely into a market that I know you wanted to talk about. We didn't bring up a certain player for Comeback Player of the Year last week. So I'm of the mindset, like, how is Dak Prescott not going to win Comeback Player of the Year? But maybe because I have him from before the season started to win Comeback Player of the Year. But is it going to be a situation where he plays too well to win Comeback Player of the Year? I don't know how he's not favored. He looks incredible. Every single week, this guy has this team that we expected nothing out of, and they're moving up and down the field. The offense looks great. Like, his defense stinks. But if you're talking about a guy coming back from an injury and being the best of the best, I think he should be ahead of Christian McCaffrey, considering what load he has on his shoulders.
No, he should be right now, yeah.
So that's what I'm curious is there a scenario where you're almost too good? Are you too good for what you're doing for him not to win Comeback Player of the Year? I know you like somebody else, but I'm very curious for his status for this award, because I think he should be a runaway for this thing right now.
Like, if he were to play this well entire season, they somehow, with this defense, by the way, keep that in mind, win 10 games maybe, get into the playoffs. And if he were to win the MVP or be like second in the MVP, would that take votes away from him winning the Comeback Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Like, would people look at that? Would voters say, I can give him this vote, but if I'm going to give him the MVP vote, I cannot give him Comeback Player of the Year?
Or I mean obviously the thing that works in my favor is I think it might be what the reality might be is that it's the opposite, which is I can't vote for him for MVP, but I have to give him something, so let's give him comeback player of the year.
That could happen. That could happen.
But I'm with you. I mean, look, we know they respect him because he finished second in MVP voting. What was it now? 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So we know that he is on the minds of voters as being a quarterback that is worthy of your vote to win Most Valuable Player.
Two other guys here quickly in the MVP race. I don't think we can ignore just because they lost Matthew Stafford, playing absolutely phenomenal football. And the other one would be a sneaky long shot at this point. Because, again, the scenario here exists after Sunday night's big win in Buffalo. If the Patriots live up to the preseason hype, to win total 8.5, expected to make the playoffs, according to a lot of people.
Ramondre Stevenson.
He's the guy. But will Drake Maye have the numbers to go along with the narrative to get into the mix to win the MVP? I took a little 90-1 on him last week. And by the way, we need to do this every week too, because this podcast is only once a week as of right now. So we are making bets obviously through the week, and we've added guys since the previous podcast was recorded. That is one of them that I took. You took Mayfield. I took Maye at 90. I don't have too many guys in the MVP market so far because I like to avoid at the top, like you said.
Yeah.
And then maybe get involved a month into the season. But I wonder, what do you think about Maye overall?
I am curious. I think in the NBA, and maybe it's because we follow it more from that perspective. And I wrote a piece about this in the NBA Guide. You can go and check it out. These parameters that the media have set for some of these awards, we kind of understand them to an extent. I do wonder if there is that for these NFL awards and we just don't really know them. Because what I'm saying is, look, he's a second-year guy. Would there be some sense of, he's a second-year guy, we're not going to give this to him? Would there be some voters who would be like that? And somebody listening to this might say, that sounds stupid. That happens. We see this all the time. I mean, I'm not to put salt in the wound here for you. There were people that were not going to vote for Victor Wembanyama for Defensive Player of the Year his rookie season because he was a rookie. That was just flat out. That was just the mentality. And it didn't make any sense.
I was actually pissed because Paulie had him.
Yeah, right.
I was pissed off on Paulie's behalf.
So if you're wondering, that doesn't really make sense. Voters are weird, dude. Voters have these weird mental blocks that they have sometimes that they just don't want to get through. But I would say in general, if he's everything you expect him to be and he meets those criteria, I would say he's probably up there. Right now, 8.2 yards per attempt, 1,200 yards through the air, 7 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. The numbers are really good. The advanced metrics, I think he's up there actually in terms of EPA per dropback and whatnot. So the nerds will like him a lot. I think that you would have to win the division and win 11 or 12 games. Do you think that they could achieve that? They have one of the easiest schedules.
Yeah, I know.
They really do. I mean, look, they should be, what are they right now? 3-2? They should be 4-1. They should have beat the Steelers 2 weeks ago.
Of course.
For crying out loud. So I don't think it's impossible to think that they at least achieve what they need to record-wise for him to win it. I just wonder if the voters would respect him enough to get it to him.
Lamar Jackson won, I believe, in his second year that he took off.
Okay, there we go.
But remember, they won, I think, 14 games, and he put up insane numbers in the air and also on the ground.
You know what? Didn't Patrick Mahomes win in his second year as well? It was his first year as a starter, but it was his second year. So, okay, so good. And I didn't think that was the thing. I just wanted to make sure. So then we have the history that the voters are willing to give it out there.
How about Goff?
That's one I was going to bring up.
Or they won 15 games last year. The guy played out of his mind, and he never had a chance to get it.
My thinking is we have to. My logic that I was going to bring up to you, whether it was Goff or something, a Lion, I think, if they continue on this case or on this path, is going to win an award. Whether it is Jared Goff to win MVP or Dan Campbell to win Coach of the Year, if they continue doing what they're doing, there's no way you can't look at that team and go, all right, one of these guys deserves something. And I think that's what the media is going to do here.
Okay. Because the Coach of the Year thing is so tricky for me. By the way, let me give you the Buccaneer schedule because I think that's the guy, right? We've kicked around 5 guys right now.
Yeah.
So if Mayfield's the guy around 11-1, they get the Niners this week. That's a national TV game, late window. At home in Tampa, by the way, so a 4:25 start in Tampa on Sunday. Then they play at the Lions on Monday night. They come back and get the Saints. Check that. That's on the road against the Saints. Bye week. New England, at the Bills, at the Rams. But this is how the Buccaneers close. Cardinals, Saints, Falcons at home, at Carolina, at Miami, Carolina at home.
Yep.
That has to be one of the easiest, 6-game stretches in the entire league for any team.
It's one of the reasons why I bet them to win the 1 seed. That back end, if they continue to be healthy and those teams continue on the trajectory that they are on right now, dude, they could walk into potentially the postseason with like a 5 or 6 game winning streak.
Yeah. And look, are they going to win all the games before that? No, but are they going to lose all of them? My guess is absolutely not.
No, I mean, look, dude, this last week, that's why I think Baker Mayfield deserves a ton of credit. You play that game against Philly. You got a bicep injury that causes you to miss a practice. You're not fully healthy at multiple spots. You got to go across the country to take on a team that played last Thursday on extra rest.
That's good.
Yes. Yep. That's very good. And you go toe to toe with them in a shootout, and you're just going up and down the field in that second half. Like that was, dude, like you said it. They're not going to win every game, but I trust that they're not going to be abhorrent and lose a bunch of those games either. Mayfield's a stud, and that team, like you said too, they want to vote for him. I think he's a character. He's been there. He's a good story. They want to give it to him if he can actually like maintain what he's doing at this point. I
think like 99% of media loves Baker Mayfield.
Yes,
and so that he would win them over basically just on that. Now the Coach of the Year thing. I'll have opinions on a lot of this stuff. The Coach of the Year thing might be the most difficult one for me because look at the candidates that we have right now lining up, right? You mentioned Campbell. I think that he's still double digits. And I think the angle there is he lost both coordinators. What was that going to be like? Week 1 disaster against Green Bay. Oh my God, Ben Johnson meant the world to the team. Oh, hold on a second here. 4 games later, they're playing the best football by any team in the entire league. But Steichen, your guy with the Colts.
Yep.
Liam Cohen now, Jacksonville. You people aren't going to love that story? They just beat the Chiefs on Monday night?
Yep.
Vrabel, based on what we were talking about with Maye. Shanahan with all the injuries with the 49ers, if they win that division in 11, 12 games. Tomlin is like 18-1. You still have Ben Johnson. We talked about Todd Bowles already. That's like 7, 8. I don't know what to do. Just throw a dart? Like, what's your recommendation here?
So I think there's 2 things for this award that I wanted to ask you about. The first of which is, because I know you're in on now favorite to win Assistant Coach of the Year, Jim Bob Cooter.
I have that one, yeah.
Okay. Who gets more credit there? Shane Steichen or Jim Bob Cooter? Because I wonder if that, like, will the media members give Jim Bob Cooter Assistant Coach of the Year, and will Shane Steichen get Head Coach of the Year? Or do they cannibalize each other?
You know what? You've looked at the history of the Assistant Coach of the Year. Do you know if there's a correlation there with the guy who actually wins the head coach?
I'd have to go back and look at that correlation. I went back and looked, and again, for our audience, the winner of Assistant Coach of the Year every single time has been on a team that has won double-digit games. That is the only trend that I went back and looked at. But that's a good question because I do wonder if that would be something that pops up. Will media members not give Jim Bob Cooter credit because the assumption is that Shane Steichen is behind everything? And look, Steichen, dude, I mean, I keep saying this. He's now 21-18 as a head coach. He had Gardner Minshew within a drop pass of the playoffs, and they went into that game in Denver last year. They were 6-7, and they win that game. They're in control of the 7th seed with the 2 games left to play or whatever it is. He's done a good job, and I wonder if they're going to give him a credit for that. So that was my first question, potentially. My other, and we put this up on the Twitter account of VSiN Live. This was on Friday after the Thursday game. Out of all of these coaches, does Kyle Shanahan not have the best point of evidence on his board? Look at what I just did on Thursday night. I've had Mac Jones these last few weeks. He is 3-0 as a starter. I'm missing almost every single one of my wide receivers, and I'm strolling into L.A. on a short week, and I put together a brilliant game plan that the Rams look completely lost with, and we end up winning that game. I mean, if there is a guy who has a better resume, you tell me, but in terms of just pure coaching, what he's done here with the injuries, it's insane.
It's a great case. I mean, they ballooned up to like a 9-point dog. I know the money came back on them a little bit before the game, but come on, it's Mac Jones and like the 4th, 5th, and 6th string wide receivers with who. And by the way, we forget that Kittle has been out as well.
Yep,
like pretty much the entire year. And now they're 4-1, and they're odds on to win that division with 2 other really good teams in it. I mean, tough to ignore.
Yep.
I wonder if he's going to get enough votes, by the way, to win it at the end if they win like 12, 13 games. But I have it right now. Do you want the Assistant Coaches of the Year?
Sure.
Tied in with the Coach of the Year?
Oh, okay, you got it.
So last year, Ben Johnson won Assistant Coach of the Year. KOC won in Minnesota for Head Coach of the Year. The year before that, 2023, Jim Schwartz with the Browns, who was the Head Coach of the Year. Kevin Stefanski.
Yep.
The year before that, DeMeco Ryans got it, DC for the 49ers. Brian Dable, Coach of the Year. The year before that, Dan Quinn, Assistant Coach of the Year, when he was with the Cowboys. Mike Vrabel won Head Coach of the Year with Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Stefanski won it for the first time back in 2020. That was Brian Dable, assistant coach of the year with Buffalo. So like one correlated pair of coaches here on the same team since the pandemic year. That's it.
Sure. I mean, but it's happened. To me, to me, that's what I'm looking for is if we have this stretch of it's never happened. So again, to invoke the NBA guide, again, go check it out now. I was looking back at most improved. And, we've talked about this weird media thing that's like, hey, they won't give it to second-year players. It has happened before, but the caveat is it hasn't happened since 2007. And, this new regime of media members is, kind of changing the way it votes. This has happened in recent years, so that would tell you that they're open to doing it.
Let me keep going back. 2019, the year we talked about with Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
So he won the MVP. John Harbaugh won the Coach of the Year. Who was Assistant Coach of the Year?
Oh, yeah.
Greg Roman, Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
2018, Vic Fangio, Assistant Coach of the Year. Who was he with? DC, Chicago Bears. Head Coach of the Year? Matt Nagy, Chicago Bears. So actually, the longer you go back, now that's 3 times we've had a correlation since 2018.
Man, we should now the wheels are turning. Let's get him to hang up a prop, like the triumvirate. MVP, Head Coach of the Year, and Assistant of the Year. Who could do it?
Yeah. Or
Daniel Jones?
Will a single team win more than 2.5 awards?
Yeah.
And that might be, for the Colts, for example. Could it be Steichen, Jim Bob Cooter, and Jonathan Taylor, Offensive Player of the Year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, technically, I don't think it's going to happen, but the market would say Daniel Jones is up for 2 awards, MVP and Comeback Player of the Year.
Well, he's not winning either one of those.
No, he's not.
No.
See, it's funny you say that because I was on with Dave and Jensen today, and right before I was signing off, I was telling them, because they kind of were alluding to it, and I said there's no chance he wins. Daniel Jones wins MVP, and they were shocked, but I keep likening it to this. Daniel Jones has done a very good job, but he had his first multi-touchdown passing game just this last week against the Raiders. He's not being asked to do that much. He is very much on the, dude, here's the keys. Just put it in drive and let the foot off the brake, and everything else will operate. You don't even need to hit the gas. That's how good we are. You don't even need to do anything. We're going downhill.
Put it in neutral.
Put it in neutral. Let it roll down the hill. And if you see it, he's done exactly what he's asked to do.
Yeah, well said. I like that.
So, all right. So, Coach of the Year. So, we talked about MVP. We're in alignment there. You're going to wait, but I have already bet MVP Baker Mayfield 12-1. Coach of the Year, I'm with you. Throw a dart, but right now, for my money, it would be Shanahan.
I have Shanahan. He's the one guy I have. I want to add Dan Campbell, but man, like I said, Liam Cohen is a great case as of right now.
Yes,
everything we just talked about. So it's tricky.
He's stealing signs. Don't like it.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
I still can't. We're not a day to day. I'm just gonna say, I cannot believe that they won that game against the Chiefs. I cannot believe that he gets up and he runs into the end zone. What is Chris Jones doing?
What a touchdown run.
Oh, dude.
Oh, Jones was so pissed off on the sideline. I don't blame him.
Yep. Oh, it was unbelievable. All right. With that, this is where, and we brought this up a little bit. I know this has been kind of stuck in your craw for a while. 3 touchdowns over the last 2 games. He's only played in the 2. His team continues to look like ass, and yet he is performing well since he has come back here. Darren Waller for Comeback Player of the Year. I know that you and Paul have been kind of on this last couple of days.
All right, so he is one of the guys. In fact, I added it last Tuesday after the podcast. I didn't even see him posted until we were done, and I was looking at more stuff, and I'm like, wait a second here. I think this guy might have a case. And then you do some digging, and look, you're always going to have difficult and big names probably to beat out in this award. You mentioned CMC as the favorite right now. Prescott's going to have a great case, obviously, coming back off of a serious injury. But I think this guy is the ultimate candidate to win, and I have multiple reasons to back it up. If you go back, and here's some of the stuff that I found when I looked into the history here of Darren Waller. When he was on a Hard Knocks episode, this was with the Raiders back in, I think, 2019, he talked about his struggle with substance abuse, and he was abusing Oxy at 15 years old. He married Kelsey Plum, who was a former Las Vegas Aces sharpshooter, right? Mm-hmm. No longer with the team, but they were both playing here in town. And he was divorced slightly more than a year later, 2024. That was when he was out of the league. He caught a viral infection in November of 2023, hospitalized, unable to stand or feed himself. Is that pretty strong? Mm-hmm. So this is from, doing some digging. Men's Health had a really lengthy and well-written story on his past. And he said, the quote was, I was looking at my marriage to Kelsey through the eyes of other people, like how it made me look. Who would turn down somebody with her resume is what he said.
Among other things.
Sure. But then he was traded to the Giants in 2023. It exposed everything that was going on with me. It put me back in the space of feeling isolated. I didn't know people in New York, so I just retreated back to old habits. So he was retired from the game. He caught a viral infection the year before he retired. He couldn't stand, could not feed himself. Resorted back to old habits of what? Heavy oxy use? So he's coming back from, that's my takeaway from that. Away from the sport for basically a good, strong year, fell back into those old bad habits. To me, it's a great candidate. Was it going to be enough, to like overcome other big names like Dak Prescott? Maybe not. But I also think there's a path here when you go and look at how important Jonnu Smith was to the Miami Dolphins offense last year, playing the tight end position, put up great numbers. If Waller can get close to those numbers and now Tyreek Hill's out for the year, I think that just like I grabbed 40-1, I came back and I grabbed more 25-1 after he scored twice against Carolina and had 5 for 78. Now maybe this is a situation where he can get down to around 2-1 and Dak's like even money. I don't know, and then I can just keep adding and hedging on Dak.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the story's there. I would wonder if like the media would buy into it or if they view him as somebody who, not Sam Darnold-esque, right? Because the Sam Darnold thing was like, hey, you can't come back from being bad. So would they view this as a true comeback or something of your own creation? Again, that's why this is the NFL's version of most improved because there's so many different ways to look at it.
Sure.
I think the other
it's a better he's got a way better case than Danny Jones, and I think that would be recognized from media members.
I mean, I think after last year you draw a line through Daniel Jones. If Sam Darnold's not even going to finish second, I mean, what are we doing? Yeah, you can't do that. But the other question I would ask is, if I were to tell you right now Tua gets benched, what do you think that does for him?
Probably not great stuff.
That to me is the big one because the quarterback position could be a nightmare here in a couple of weeks. I mean, it already kind of is. Tua has not been playing well at all. So if like he either gets benched or whatever it is, that team is. I mean, this last week I was very locked in. I had a lot of Panther stuff this last week watching that game when we were on the air, Stormy and I. Dude, they went 5 straight drives where I think it was either 3 and out or they got 1 first down and then punted it back. The offense was abysmal.
Yeah.
And so if like the production, I think you're right because again he scored again this week, but dude, the quarterback spot position looks like an absolute nightmare for this team right now.
No, I know. And then does McDaniel at what point does he get fired?
Mm-hmm.
Does that come into play? No, those are solid points, obviously. And look, I don't like betting this award at all, but I think it's a great story, and I think it's actually the best story in the league since DeMar Hamlin for this award.
Yep.
And then since Alex Smith, if you want to go back even more. Hamlin just didn't play enough for him to win that award. He only played a couple snaps that year. And then you had the great comeback story by Joe Flacco. But again, he was coming back from being on his couch.
Yep. All right. I got one more award that we have to discuss here at this point. We've touched on it ever so briefly because we talked about how good Emeka Egbuka is. We do have some news that is going to impact Offensive Rookie of the Year. Marion Hampton's going to hit the IR with an ankle injury. So that's a pretty big blow for him. I think, did you have something on him? I know Stormy did you?
I do not.
Okay. So,
although I have to admit that guy was going to be a threat to win this award.
Yes, and that's why I think this matters. So he last game, 70 scrimmage yards, 44 rushing, 26 receiving, but he had to leave in the second half. He now drops all the way down here to 70-1 to win the award. I think we can kind of draw a line through him at this point because the Rookie of the Year field is very strong offensively. So this looks like something where he's going to be done. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is twofold. It's because of Hampton's injury, but it's also we had some interesting rookie performances over the weekend. Egbuka was great. Sorry, I don't want to pull a Gronk here. What do you call him? A boo-boo? Emeka Egbuka is the odds-on favorite at DraftKings and other spots for a reason. I don't know how you mess that up if you're him. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Gronk being Gronk.
Yes. I still contest. I don't understand why the market is putting Ashton Genty at plus 380. He's done nothing, and it's not his fault. It's like the team around him sucks. Yeah. The offensive line's terrible. He's not the second most likely choice to an offensive rookie.
Of course not. No, they want to avoid big bets or anything on him.
Yep. And then you get the 2 Giants rookies, which is where I kind of wanted to focus on. That was ugly. It started off really nicely against New Orleans. Jackson Dart, the Giants are up 14-3. Everybody's happy. And then everything completely melts down. Dart has the weird fumble in the open field where nobody's around him and he just drops the football. Cam Scadaboo's got multiple fumbles where he's screaming at someone to get him more gloves on the sideline. Just an absolute meltdown on the road for the rookies. And I got to say, Dart and the Giants pulled off the win against the Chargers, Mitch. Statistically, it was not a great performance from Jackson Dart.
Nope.
And I think these are two very popular selections. I don't know, man. I think this market's kind of soft. I still wonder why Tyler Warren continues to slip in terms of the odds. We could talk about that, but the two Giants, I know that you were looking at Scadaboo, but what do we do with this now?
Oh, man, that was such a bad performance, and you detailed everything beautifully there. Their schedule, by the way, was the most difficult going into the entire league, right, going into the season. So if they're going to go on the road and play one of the weakest teams in the league and have performances like that, probably doesn't bode well for them, is my takeaway.
Yep.
And so I'm already sitting on both those guys. I've told you this. I have a lot of guys right now. My biggest one is the guy who's the short shot right now with a book at 50-1 in the preseason. So I don't want to keep adding too many more guys to this award and take away from what I might potentially have here in pocket with that guy. Although I think I know what path you're going to go down here. I think we avoid the Giants as of right now.
Yep.
The one guy to look at is what took place over in London early with the Browns. And I'm not talking about Dylan Gabriel.
No. Quinshon, I can never say his name. Quinshon Judkins.
Well, come on. His parents, what are you doing here?
That's why I want to say it properly. I want to make sure I am respectful here.
No, I'm saying with that combination, the last name is Judkins.
Oh,
and you name him Quinshon.
Yes.
That's a very difficult 1-2 parlay leg to cashing on both.
My tongue trips over it every single time.
Me too.
So Judkins, as he will be referred to as from now on in this podcast, 1,000%. I added him. I had to do it. This, we have our. We're going to add these Sounders, our FOMO bets of the week. Judkins is it, dude. He first off, he has the big touchdown run called back. It looks so easy, so smooth. He is such a great combination of physical and elusive. When you watch him out there, I am amazed about how good he is for this Browns team. And again, you go back, look, winning doesn't matter. We don't need him to win games. You just need to have a strong statistical season. They're going to lean on him in a big way as we move forward. The snap count, the share count, all of it has gone up as the week's gone on. Dude, I think that you look at him at 12-1 out of all of the candidates for this award, especially with the fraudulence at the top with Genti and these two New York Giants not performing particularly well. If you don't have Igbokwe right now, or especially somebody like you does, I don't know how you don't look at Judkins at 12-1 and add him.
I know. That the thing is, I have, I think, 7 guys right now in this award market. So going back to my point of it's going to be diminishing returns here pretty soon. Not really. Well, so anyway, hold on to that. But he would be the one guy I'd be looking at as of right now. He passed every test on Sunday.
Yep.
He passed the eye test. The stats were absolutely right there. Could have been better if that was not erased off the board because of the penalty. And this is his backfield. The guy. It honestly makes me wonder, why did he fall in the draft?
Sure.
Right, and based on the overall talent that the guy has.
Yep. Now, we should point out, because there's probably going to be someone who bring it up. You do wonder for Rookie of the Year, the legal issues, but those were dropped. So, that's not something that is, I think, going to weigh on him as he moves forward, at least with this season, unless something else pops up there. And, dude, we've seen quite a few good Stefanski running back seasons. I think Stefanski's a pretty good offensive coordinator. And with the rookie quarterback, even more so, they're going to lean on this hard. Yeah, I'm in. This would be my FOMO bet of the week.
That's your FOMO bet?
Yeah, I texted you during the game while you were on the air, and I was just like, Judkins Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
and
no, you did.
I added it.
Okay, that's, and you brought up another guy, too. He's on your team. He scored again.
Dude.
Warren scored again, and he's around the same number. He's around 10 or 11-1. Is it just telling you that, again, to your point, we have so many good rookies, it's going to be difficult for a tight end to win the award?
I guess, but I think this is my problem with awards in general. Is I view them, when you look at the odds, I view them too literally. In that, if you were to poll any media member and just say, hey, give me your top 3 rookies right now, especially offensively, let's whittle it down to offense, give me your top 3 offensive rookies, there was no shot that any of them are listing Ashton Genti and Jackson Dart ahead of Tyler Warren. There's no way. It is, I think, Igbokwe and Warren 1-2, and I think you could even make the argument that Warren is 2 if you're getting into the hardcore granular. You should see where they line him up and where he is. He's got multiple backfield snaps. He's at H-back. He's out wide. Maybe that versatility gives him a small edge depending on what you value. But either way, he's not 3 or 4, dude. He's so freaking good.
Yeah. So Bill Barnwell, he put out his quarter poll for awards last week on ESPN.com. He had Warren as his best offensive rookie.
Yeah. Dude, I buy that. I brought something up. So it was an NFL article I read this morning, NFL.com. It was ranking the rookies, just overall rookies. Guess who they had number one?
Oh,
of all
man.
rookies. Of all rookies.
Okay, well, it's certainly not Egbuka. Definitely. Is it Schlesinger for the Browns?
Abdul Carter.
Oh, my. What?
Because he had like 6 pressures this last week, and he's like, yep, he's coming on strong. Like, I don't understand this at all.
I thought you were actually going to give me a sneaky guy that we were going to be like, okay, this is no, the exact opposite.
Which these things do matter because it does give you a sense of what these media members are looking at. I don't know what that is. That's insane. That if we're working all the rookies and you're going to say Abdul Carter, more impactful and meaningful snaps than Egbuka or Warren? Stop.
Now, we have each sworn on this podcast so far in previous episodes. We can swear, right? That's okay?
Yes, we're still in our old format.
Okay, have you? This might be a little bit before your time.
Oh, yeah, there we go. We got a thumbs up from the producer. There you go. Let it rip.
Have you ever watched the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Of course.
Okay, it's a great movie. There's a scene in there where Kristen Bell, I love it. Bullshit. Right? It's a great scene going back and forth with the guy's character's name is Snow. Yep. That's the New York bullshit, is what that is. If Abdul Carter was playing, God damn it.
Another one. You got another one.
Yeah, they chalked me up. Tally number 2. If he was playing somewhere like outside of New York, would people be saying this about him?
Of course.
I really doubt that. It's like, hey, I'll give you another one. It ties into 2 years ago, and he is getting completely exposed right now. I think Sauce Gardner for 3 years running is the most overrated player in the NFL, and he won the award because he plays in New York when Rick Woolen, who I had at 200-1 in 2023, had better numbers across the board playing the same position. But nope, you're going to get lost in the sauce. Okay, sure. You got it, guys.
Good use of the lost in the sauce as well. It's good. Dude, no, I'm 100% with you. People wonder why my anti-New York bias. Yes, like this is the reason why. That you cannot watch these rookies and say that Abdul Carter has been the best rookie so far.
Not at all.
It's absolute insanity.
Not even in the conversation, probably.
No, and you know what's going to happen because again, this is just what my life is. Carson Schlesinger is going to end up finishing second because again, he was brilliant this last weekend in London. I think he had like 11 tackles. Was in the middle of every single play defensively. If you watched him against the Vikings, and he's going to finish second because Carter's going to have like 5 sacks, and they're going to be like, "Yep, this is great." And like, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. I can't
and they're going to win like 3 games, right? And the defense is going to be there. Maybe like the overall defensive line will have a bunch of sacks combined with the other guys that are really good on that part of the field for them. But overall, the defensive numbers probably will not be like anything above average. And you're like, nah, the guy lived up to the hype. Here you go. Look at the pass block win rate that he had late in the year. Look at all the pressures that the guy had. Yeah, sure, he had a big impact on a lot of their losses, didn't he?
You know what? So if we're being legitimately honest, and this is one where I wish we could get like some of the nerds that are in on this thing, you know who should really be? This is 1,000% never going to happen. The person's not even listed. But you know who actually should be the favorite to win Rookie of the Year? Is Armand Membu for the New York Jets. Offensive tackle. He has been brilliant. If you look at like the pressure numbers and what he has allowed to this point, I think it's just about like 10 or 11 pressures. He's been awesome. He's been shutting dude down. He has been one of the better rookies out there as well. That's where I would love to get to the point where you could actually realistically look at like offensive linemen. The year that Rashawn Slater came out, he probably should have won Offensive Rookie of the Year, but that's never going to happen.
Well, Barnwell makes a point to do that, I think, every single time that he updates his awards piece. So he'll do it at the halfway poll as well. I believe he had an offensive lineman 3rd overall for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
There you go. Might be Memphis because he's been awesome.
Or maybe it was 3rd. I don't know how he qualified it, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know if it was for the award or how he just ranked them individually.
Yeah. Well, we do have this Protector of the Year award now, don't we? Now we can.
We do.
We can throw some cash on that bad boy.
Can a rookie win that though? Too young.
Too young. Right. Well, is this the first year? We don't really have a deep history.
Yeah, right.
to go back on at this point. All right. Anything else NFL related? Is your FOMO bet here in the NFL before we move on maybe to a little NBA as the NBA guide is out today for VSiN?
No. I think I don't have one as of right now in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little Waller. Should I make that the FOMO bet of the week?
Sounds like it. It sounds like you're in. I mean, you've already made it, but it sounds like that should be the one for you.
He's still 25-1 out there.
Yeah, it's still available at the second time. The second time you jumped
in. You know
in.
what? Darren Waller, my FOMO bet of the week.
Yeah.
Comeback player. Although I think I might have one in the NBA as well if you want to run down some of this stuff as well if we have time.
Yes. All right. So let's get to it because you don't have it hard out, right? So we got a couple of minutes here.
Mm-hmm.
NBA betting guide out today. Make sure you check it out. Season's going to get started in about 2 weeks, so very excited for that. Zach Cohen did a brilliant job. They were very nice to me this year, Mitch. They said, you know what? You work hard, JVT. Zach's going to write every team preview this year. This is the first year that he did not write a team preview for the guide, and I very much appreciate it. And Zach did a brilliant job.
Well, first of all, that's an amazing job by Zach Cohen as well.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely, dude. Cohen's been brilliant.
The detailed rundowns that he has for every single team and like every single bet that he makes is just fantastic.
Yep. So I believe it's brilliant. I have alleged because in our reads they say they still call me senior NBA analyst. I think that goes to Zach. It does not go to me. He's done a brilliant job. So check it out. But we do have futures in there. I don't know if I didn't see if maybe you got some in. I know Paul had some heat stuff in there for the futures plays. So where do you want first? Do you want win totals? Do you want overall awards? Where do you want to start? Because win totals aren't as sexy. We're talking about laying prices as opposed to, getting some juicy plus prices.
Well, then I think we want awards, yeah?
Okay, so this ties into a win total, so let's just do that. I hate this award. I will say this flat out right now. I hate it. I cannot stand it. As I have mentioned, the voters have actively said that they will not vote for second-year players to win most improved. Now, this is not a second-year player, so keep that in mind. But I don't like the way that this has been doled out. And I wrote a piece on each award and how this has kind of been set out and some of the parameters that you see. And for most improved, we've seen some robberies. You look back at some of the years. I think, for example, the year that Tyrese Maxey finally won comeback player of the year, or excuse me, most improved player of the year. If you actually look at the improvements that Kobe White made that season from the year prior to that season, he statistically he leapt over Tyrese Maxey's improvements, and yet he finished second. So I don't know what you want from me in this award. Having said that,
I think you and I have had like 6 guys finish in second or third place who had much better years than the actual guy who won, going back to like 2019, and this is why I can't stand it. Yeah,
dude, look at. I brought this up in the example as well in the article. Look at Christian Brown last year. Christian Brown was incredible. Yeah. He's a full-time starter. He improved all of his numbers across the board way more than Dyson Daniels did, but the voters were like, well, we can't vote for Dyson Daniels to win Defensive Player of the Year. He's not good enough there, so let's just give him most improved. Whatever. So all this to say is I bet most improved player of the year.
Fantastic. I can't wait to get down. Who do you like?
Give me Brandon Miller out in Charlotte. He's at 50-1. A wrist injury kept him sidelined. He only played in about 27 games last year. I think you and I share the same sentiment. I think Brandon Miller's a very good basketball player. Very quietly in his rookie year, he was great. He was just buried out in Charlotte. The team was awful. Didn't really do too much. He did get his rookie recognition, though. So don't forget about that. I think he made an all-rookie team, if I remember correctly. So they know about Brandon Miller. He comes out last year in his 27 games, increases his scoring up to like 21.4 points per game, improves his rebounding. Efficiency drops off, but on a much higher volume, so it's expected. I think if you look at this team, and the direction that they're kind of heading in, signing some veterans to improve, taking those steps forward to maybe compete for a play-in. He's a good defender, a good scorer, and a good rebounder. I think Miller's going to have a really strong year if he's healthy. And at 50-1, I'll take that shot with Brandon Miller. Well,
it ties into your win total that you have, one of them anyway, as well, and the first win total that I made after the Summer League. And that is the Hornets over. I grabbed 24.5, like immediately when the Summer League was over with, and I also bet them at 14-1 to win to make the playoffs.
Yep, So I keep hearkening back to 3 years ago when LaMelo actually played I think it was 70-ish games or something. I think it was his rookie year. They won 43 games that year because their offense was very good. They made it to the play-in, and then they just got smoked and didn't really do anything, obviously. But I think that they have that potential. Because I think, and you mentioned watching them in the Summer League, Kalkbrenner will see what he is as a defensive center. He's probably going to be more impactful there as a rim protector than anything else. But Con Knippel, next to Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball, that is a very good, guard wing trio that you add to the shooting that they desperately needed with Knippel. If Miller can improve the shooting, which I think is going to be the case, then you're talking about a team that can actually shoot the ball particularly well. The offensive upside with this team. Then you include Bridges, the fact that Colin Sexton is now on this team so that if LaMelo gets hurt, Sexton's going to dampen that blow. They have such good pieces. Trey Mann. I think there's the offensive upside for this team, I think, is very, very strong.
Now, this is going to be, I really want to make a strong statement. I can't go this far because LaMelo Ball is not quite, obviously, SGA. He's not even close to him. But if LaMelo Ball was like, as the, the face of the franchise here and like the catalyst for the team, if he played a little bit more like in the SGA role and was like almost that quality of a player, I would say that this team would be Oklahoma City from 2022-2023, the year before they made the leap to the 1 seed in the Western Conference. And that was the year they went 40-42. And They surprised teams, and you could tell that they were on the come. Like, that was going to be a team that you wanted to bet on in the next couple of years, and they won the title last year, obviously. I think that Charlotte can be almost a mini version of that, meaning they can get to, like, 38 wins-ish this year and just be a hard team to play, like, every single night.
Yep. I would agree. I think they're going to be a pretty good team. Defensively, they're probably going to be pretty bad again. So this is why they're in that like 24 and 25.5 range. But for Miller, I think he's going to be there. And for them to go over that win total, I even think some alternate win totals because we do this in the NBA or the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Where, hey, generally, and Kelly's got a really good article in the guide about, alternate win totals and looking at their history of those. And generally, you have teams that are falling like within 3 of their win total, 3 or 4 wins. 21, I think, last year exceeded or fell under their win total by 3 or more games.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So you can play with these because think about it too, right? Think about the volatility of an NBA season in terms of player availability. It's going to be pretty hard to exactly project where these are. I track win totals every year in like a little spreadsheet to see where they're at. It is very rare that a win total comes down to the last 3 or 4 games. Generally, by the last week, most teams have cashed their win totals because you're not going to fall right on where the projections are for you. So play some alternates if you like some of these. And for Charlotte, I think over like 28.5, 29.5, getting to that 30-win range, I think is certainly plausible too.
Well said. I like that. Good breakdown. If in fact, that tells you right there that that's the best approach then, like the NFL and betting win totals, when it's like 25 of the teams in the NFL are not even within like 2 games, or it's like 2 games or more of their actual closing win total. Yeah.
And now 3 games in an 82-game schedule, we should point out, is not the same as 2 or 3 games in a 17-game schedule, right. But still, the point still stands where these numbers really aren't as tight as they look on the surface, and so you can play around with some alternate win totals for some of these teams and feel pretty comfortable. All right, the other one, and I'll tie this into another future that I like as well. I played a division exact result. Yes, there's still divisions in the NBA. I played Nuggets first, Thunder second, plus 550, and I have the Nuggets over their win total of 53.5. I love this team, dude. I think that is a home run going and getting Cameron Johnson to fill into that small forward spot. Michael Porter Jr. is a good shooter. I think it's a wash in terms of the three-point shooting. But the difference defensively, it's not like Johnson's like a shutdown shooter, but he's a defender. But he's a much better effort defender. He's going to be out there. He's going to get in front of guys. He could attack closeouts, Mitch, which just changes everything, right? Being able to, on a hard closeout, attack the basket, move the ball, do whatever it is. It adds different dimensions to their offense. And then the other pieces they added. Getting Jonas Valanciunas to spell Nikola Jokic in those non-Jokic minutes is very good for them. Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., there's so many good little pieces they add to the fringes that make this team just a little bit deeper for the regular season. I think this team's going to be very good. So over the win total, and then first in the division, Thunder second at plus 550.
Is this the best Nuggets team they've had with the Joker?
It might be that the year they won the finals, I think you argue that one's better just because it was such a perfect fit. Like all the pieces were great.
But they were not super deep.
No, but they weren't super deep, and this team looks much deeper. They look like they can overcome some injuries or some poor play from guys in a regular season.
Yeah. Okay.
Love this team, dude.
You have to. They're going to be a machine.
Well, and we should also point out, hang the banner. We pushed the eventual NBA Finals champions to 7 games when Aaron Gordon was on one hamstring, and you know what I mean? Like it was incredible watching what they were able to do. So this team's really, really freaking good. All right, how about this? You like little odd bets like this? I would want to get your thoughts. I have called this a diet MVP bet because I can't dive in all the way. Victor Wembanyama, all NBA first team. Plus 220.
Is that readily available?
It's at a couple of shops. Yeah, DraftKings has it, and I think FanDuel has it as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to twist my arm very hard with this guy.
Dude. he's good. Like, I don't even have to say that much.
Breaking news.
Yeah, I just don't know if they're going to win enough games. Like, I understand. Jensen Lewis told me, like, he was talking to me on their show on VSiN by the Book on Tuesday morning, and he brought it up the MVP, and I was like, I totally understand it. I think that they're not going to win enough games, maybe. And so instead of going there, getting him on that All-NBA first team where he's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year if he stays healthy, because the media just wants to give it to him so bad. So he wins that, and All-NBA first team, I don't think it's out of sight at all.
Plus 220?
Yeah.
How many games? He has to play, 65 games to qualify for that?
Yes.
Is he going to make it at 65 after the blood clots?
That's the question. I would say yes. I mean, he looks like he's ready to go. I mean, he's doing like flying soccer bicycle kicks in the offseason and, playing and looking fine. So I would think that he is going to at least meet the minimal mark of 65 games. I would also think, because teams are aware of this, I would think the team wants him to meet that mark. I think that they know he is deserving of winning like a Defensive Player of the Year and being available for some of these offseason accolades. And so there's going to be an effort to, I think, get him out there. Not play in certain games that he shouldn't, but I think they're going to be aware of making sure that he meets those marks. Okay,
so if he gets to 65 games played, he is going to win Defensive Player of the Year, correct?
Yes, I don't think there's a question.
Okay.
Like the second he hits the 60, like when he starts his 65th game,
bet him.
Whatever the price is, go lay it. Because they want to give it to him. They do. They desperately want to give it to him.
Well, he was the runaway favorite last year until the blood clots came up.
Correct.
Right, and he's going to have he's going to have every number go in his favor. Like the mainstream stats are going to be there. The advanced defensive numbers are all going to look great for Wemby and the Spurs when he's on the court compared to when he's off the court. He's going to have everything going for him.
Yep.
So, and this is an award that is also like it's a bitch to bet on because of how it's viewed. I mean, Draymond Green, people like Kendrick Perkins and Reggie Miller during games, give him the award right now. What are we talking about? Draymond Green's Jimmy Butler was the best defender on the team after he got traded there, and that's when the team actually took off, is when Butler arrived.
And to your point, because I will invoke, I think this is one beat that we share, which I will never, ever forget. The Eastern Conference Finals MVP, where Caleb Martin should have won.
Of course.
Where Reggie Miller on the broadcast says, there's your MVP, and then votes for Jimmy Butler 20 minutes later.
Yeah,
but to your point about Defensive Player of the Year, Kendrick Perkins tweets out, Draymond Green, that's my Defensive Player of the Year, and then votes for Lou Dort. Like you have no idea what these guys are going to do.
Of course, you have no chance of trying to predict that stuff, right? Other than if this guy stays healthy, he's going to win. And there's I am not going to look down the board at all anything Defensive Player of the Year related.
You can't.
Because it's his award, unless we get breaking news again, like, hey, he's going to miss some time, that's when you want to fire on something, obviously.
Yeah, anything in Defensive Player of the Year is a wager that he's not going to meet the 65-game mark.
Yeah, you're betting on, if you're betting somebody else, you're basically betting on him getting hurt or the blood clots are going to be an issue again.
Yep. All right, well, I do have one more. I'll just throw it out there. Jazz under 18.5. This is going to be fun to sweat out.
That bad?
They're going to be bad, dude.
Okay.
I mean, they've shipped off all the veterans. They got a couple of guys that they brought in, like Kyle Anderson and Yusuf Nurkic and whatnot. But this is like a full let the kids run it. Like, let the kids run the game and let's see what's going to happen. Keontae George, Ace Bailey, all these guys. Taylor Hendrickson coming back from that like gruesome leg injury. They were letting the kids play, and I think that's going to be pretty bad.
And you don't want to grab any of their players to win Rookie of the Year then?
No, so I think Zach makes a really good point for Ace Bailey. So if I go back and look here, let me see. I've got these numbers for you really quickly. Let me see here. All right, so the average Rookie of the Year campaign, 19.1 points, 8.7 rebounds, and 3.9 assists per game in the history of the award. So you're generally a high output player. Efficiency doesn't really matter too much if you look at it in terms of shooting from the floor. Let's see. Last 7 winners have shot under 50% from the floor. 6 of the last 8 have shot worse than 33% from beyond the arc. 7 Rookie of the Year winners since 2013 have shot under 44% from the floor. So really, you just need a rookie who's going to have a high volume of shots that are fed in their direction. And Ace Bailey fits all those parameters. The other thing, and this is what really surprised me actually, the one thing that you need for your Rookie of the Year, if you go back, opportunity minutes per game, those matter. Remember, Rookie of the Year actually does not fall under the 65-game threshold. So that's a note to mark. Like, it doesn't matter that they play 65 games with the Rookie of the Year. But 11 of the last 13 winners have played at least 70 games for Rookie of the Year. One of those guys that didn't meet that mark was John Morant in the COVID-shortened season, so you can just draw a line through that. And if you look all the way back, only 3 times in the last 25 years has a Rookie of the Year winner played fewer than 70 games in a season.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
Pretty strong trends there.
Yeah, so at the very least, like, it shows that you just need a rookie who's going to score a boatload of points and play in a boatload of games. And Ace Bailey is probably going to be that guy.
Okay. I took Nick Clifford right after the draft.
Yeah. See,
I love the landing spot in Sacramento.
Dude, Nick Clifford's so good. And I missed the mark on the draft because I bet him to go top 10, but I was telling Will Hill, like, look out for that kid. He was so good at Colorado State. Big reason why they made that run in the tournament. Oh, and yeah. he is a full-on pros pro, dude. The arms that, like, drag on the floor, the length, the ability to score. He's so good. He'll
put up, like, he's going to be the stat sheet stuffer.
Yes.
Big time. He'll be one of them as a rookie for sure.
Yep. All right, any parting points before we get out of here? You got anything NHL future-wise you want to drop on me? I need something to sweat for the season.
I'm probably going to make a Vezina bet today. I'm going to shop around. I want to get Stolars for the Maple Leafs.
All right, you're going to have to tell me. What is that?
Best goaltender.
Oh, best goaltender. Okay.
Right. Yeah, but if the number is not good enough, if he's like below 20-1, I'm not going to bet it.
My surface level thought was, what's the trophy for MVP?
Hart.
Austin Matthews. Now that what's his name is now a Las Vegas Golden Knight.
No more
everything's
Marner,
yeah. Now that Marner's a Golden Knight, is just everything on this guy's shoulders, and he's just going to put together a monster season with a ton of points and drag this team to a high seed.
Sure. And the Maple Leafs eventually, then they come out and they make the Eastern Conference Finals. And I mean, they have huge numbers this year. Like I was looking the other day, 22-1 to win the whole thing, like 10 or 11-1 to win the East. What if this is the year? They get rid of Marner, to your point, and all of a sudden, whoosh, they just take off.
Narratively, it happens all the time.
Of course ridiculous. It does. Yep.
All right. Again, Pod to the Futures, we appreciate it. If you're still listening, like, rate, review, subscribe. Check out everything we have to offer up on the website of VSiN.com. NBA Guide is out. Very much check that out, as well as everything else. NHL Guide is in the digital version up on the website in the NHL section. JD, Jonathan Davis, who was with us last week, wrote all of those too. So make sure you take advantage. For Mitch and everybody, of course, Wyatt, that are helping us out here. We will see you next week here on Pod to the Futures.